Hello students, today we're going to discuss independent clauses and compound sentences. An independent clause is a clause that can make up a sentence by itself. The word independent means confident, free, and not needing to ask other people for help. So an independent clause is a clause that can stand by itself, that does not need anything else, it does not need help from anything else. To help us think about what an independent clause is, let's think again about the word independent. Independent means you can take care of yourself. Here's some somewhat silly examples of independent. Indiana Jones is independent. He works at a university, he has his own house, and he has a tent when he travels. He can take care of himself. A person that can take care of themselves is independent. In the same way, an independent clause is something that can stand by itself. An independent clause has a subject, it has a verb, and it is complete by itself. When we think about independent clauses, one independent clause is a simple sentence. Let's practice finding the subject and verbs in each of these sentences and see if they are independent clauses. In the first example, Indiana Jones went to Peru. There's a subject, there's a verb, and it is a complete thought. So it is an independent clause. That is a simple sentence. The second example, the golden statue in a temple. There's a subject, but there's no verb. This is not an independent clause. It is not a sentence. It is a fragment. How about this example? Because the old temple was not safe. Well, it has a subject and it has a verb, but it is not a complete thought. It does not tell us what happened or what did a person decide to do because the old temple was not safe. Did someone get hurt? Did someone decide to avoid the temple? We don't know. We needed something else. So this is not a sentence by itself. It is not an independent clause. Later, we will learn what kind of clause that is. When you're writing simple sentences, you need one independent clause, like this. Indiana Jones went to Peru. Let's continue and try to find the subject and verb in each of these examples. Indiana Jones did not keep the golden statue. Find the subject and the verb. Indiana Jones and Marion in a bar. Find the subject and a verb and decide if it is a complete thought. Cairo is in Egypt. Here are the answers. Number 1, Indiana Jones did not keep the golden statue. It is an independent clause. It's a simple sentence and it is a sentence by itself. Indiana Jones and Marion in a bar. There's a subject, but there's no verb. It is not an independent clause. It's a fragment or a mistake. Cairo is in Egypt. Cairo is the name of a city in Egypt, and it is an independent clause. There's a subject and a verb. The tried to steal a valuable ark. So, as I said before, this is a mistake. It should say they, and that would be a subject, and then you would have a verb. But here, as it stands, it's a mistake. We need a subject, not just the. We need they, or we need a person's name. We need a subject, and then the verb. Indiana Jones saved the day. This is an independent clause. There's a subject and a verb, and it is a complete thought. Let's keep going. Now, a compound sentence has two independent clauses put together. Here's an example. The bad guys tried to steal a valuable ark, but Indiana Jones saved the day. Notice that a compound sentence must have a comma and a coordinating conjunction. The comma and the coordinating conjunction connect two independent clauses together. Let's look at some other examples. Indiana Jones saved the day, and he kissed Marion to celebrate. Notice there's a comma and a coordinating conjunction. The bad guys tried to leave in a plane, but Indiana Jones stopped them. Comma and coordinating conjunction, two independent clauses. They found a valuable ark in Egypt, so they thought that they would be rich. Two independent clauses and a comma and a coordinating conjunction. What are coordinating conjunctions? I usually call them fanboys. Fanboys helps me remember what the most common coordinating conjunctions are. We have for, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. These small words are used to connect two independent clauses. Let's practice. Underline the independent clause, circle the coordinating conjunction. Indiana Jones traveled to India, and he found a sacred stone. He found the bad guys in an underground temple, but the thugs captured him. Indiana Jones cut the ropes on a bridge, so the bad guys fell into the river. Here are the answers. Indiana Jones traveled to India. That's the first independent clause. Then we have a comma and our fanboys. He found a sacred stone. That's a second independent clause. He found the bad guys in an underground temple. There's the first independent clause, comma, fanboys. The thugs captured him. That's the second independent clause. Indiana Jones cut the ropes on a bridge. That's the first independent clause, comma, fanboys. So the bad guys fell into the river. That's the second independent clause. Here are a few more examples you can try by yourself. I won't read them all, but you could pause the video and try to add a comma and fanboys where it is necessary. We can do the first one together. Indiana Jones found a golden cross. Some robbers stole the cross from him. This is our first independent clause. Indiana Jones found a golden cross. Then we need to add a comma and a fanboys. You could use one of the fanboys. I think the word but would make the most sense. Try to do the other two by yourself. Pause the video and try to answer those two. Okay, here are your answers. Notice how there's a comma added for each of them, and then a fanboys added. Without the comma and fanboys, they are incorrect. Okay, so that gives you an idea about what independent clauses are and how to build compound sentences. Remember, compound sentences are two independent clauses put together, and they're joined together by a comma and a fanboys. See you in class.